Welcome to this explainer. If you've been evaluating technology for a mid to large law firm lately, you already know the hype around AI is absolutely everywhere. But today, we're going to look past all that noise. We're unpacking a massive shift happening right now in high-trust legal environments. We're going to explore exactly why legal operations need AI that is reviewable, traceable, and controllable, rather than just fast. We want to focus on what actually creates true operational reliability. Here is how we're going to break this down. First, speed is not enough. Second, the opaque AI risk. Third, good AI leaves a trail. Fourth, we'll look at a practical example with the Harborfront lease review. And finally, number 5, governed workflows with Omnisenti. Let's get into it. Section 1. Speed is not enough. The allure and limitations of rapid outputs. We've got to start by tackling a really common misconception about what actually makes technology valuable in a legal setting. Don't get me wrong, a fast output is incredibly useful, right? A quicker workflow is literally always welcome. But velocity alone just does not inspire the level of confidence required by managing partners, legal operations managers, or risk-minded stakeholders. So many firms are still judging AI mainly by its speed or its sheer convenience. But in a legal environment where precision and accountability are the bedrock of everything you do, relying solely on speed is, well, it's simply not enough. It is super easy to be impressed by a system that instantly prepares an automated response or whips up a quick summary of a massive 100-page document. Those are great capabilities. It can route tasks rapidly and generate fast outputs. But I want you to focus on that final point. When you have all of those rapid outputs but absolutely zero visibility into the decision chains that created them, speed suddenly becomes a massive liability. Faster definitely does not mean safer. Which brings us right into Section 2, the opaque AI risk. Faster does not mean safer. Let's look at the very real operational risk of adopting these shallow AI solutions. This is the million-dollar question for any IT team or innovation lead. If a summary just magically appears, but nobody can actually see what happened under the hood, who reviewed it, what changed, or why the matter moved the way it did, can you actually trust it? In legal operations, the answer is almost universally no. Speed without traceability? That just creates discomfort, not confidence. It really comes down to this contrast. An opaque AI might give you a snappy workflow, but it relies on a hidden extraction process. It gives you a result, sure, but it's basically a black box. Trustworthy AI, on the other hand, gives you visible changes. It provides a crystal clear review history. This right here is the difference between an AI that looks really cool in a sandbox demo and an AI that is actually usable in rigorous daily operations. So moving on to Section 3, good AI leaves a trail, defining a reviewable and controllable system. Because for AI to actually work in a law firm, it has to step out of the shadows. It needs to be fully documented. This definition is really the anchor of our entire explainer. We have to completely reframe how we think about governance. It's not friction, it's not annoying red tape, it's an essential protective layer. When AI supports a workflow, every single meaningful step it takes has to leave tangible, undeniable evidence. It has to leave a trail. So what does that evidence actually look like? Well, a proper trail means the system captures the original source document. It shows exactly what fields were extracted so they are visible to the user. If a human steps in, all edits are logged, and that specific reviewer is identified. Approvals are officially recorded, timestamps are strictly preserved, and any routing or exceptions are completely traceable. When your system does all of this, the entire process is just infinitely safer, clearer, and far easier to trust. At the end of the day, this is all about empowering the firm with commercial credibility. Legal ops managers aren't just trying to generate text. They need to maintain strict, unyielding operational governance over every single automated action. Control is the true metric of success here. Let's make this concrete. Section 4, the Harborfront lease review. Seeing the trail in practice at Ashford Vale Lawyers. Let's follow a realistic scenario at a fictional firm to see how this plays out in a standard real estate matter. Notice how incredibly calm and organized this premium workflow is. At hour 1, the Harborfront lease comes into intake, and the source document is securely captured. By hour 2, the AI extracts the necessary fields, but crucially, those fields stay visible for checking. Fast forward to hour 4. The AI hits a snag, a non-standard clause, so it flags an exception for human review. At hour 5, a human steps in, and their approval is recorded with a name and a timestamp. And finally, by hour 6, the downstream action is connected. There's zero mystery, just clean, auditable efficiency. Breaking that lease review down further, you can see how human oversight stays exactly where it matters most. The AI pulls the lease dates, but the trail evidence clearly links the source so you know where those dates came from. When the AI spots that weird, non-standard clause, it doesn't just autocorrect it in the dark. It specifically flags the exception. And when the matter finally moves forward, it's because a named human reviewer authorized it. The trail doesn't slow things down, it just makes every action deliberate and fully accountable. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Governed Workflows with Omnisenti, placing AI safely inside operations. Now we are at the implementation phase. How do you actually build these traceable environments without drowning in technical jargon? This is exactly where Omnisentient enters the picture as your orchestration partner. They help firms move away from those uncontrolled feature demos and toward properly governed workflows. It's a clear process. First, you place AI inside your existing legal workflows, not off to the side as a standalone toy. Second, you establish firm human checkpoints and clear routing logic. And third, you ensure complete auditability and approval records. That is how you build the trail. Partnering with Omnisenti makes sense because they actually understand this landscape. They prioritize real operational control over the standard industry hype. They know the goal isn't just futuristic automation for the sake of it. The goal is operationally useful AI. By focusing on implementation, integrating AI directly into governed workflows, maintaining those vital human checkpoints, and delivering commercially credible auditability, they prove that governance is the very foundation of trust in legal work. I'm going to leave you with this final thought as you evaluate tech for your own firm. True innovation doesn't hide its work, it documents it. So ask yourself, as your firm adopts new tools, are you building a black box, or are you building a beautifully illuminated trail that your team and your clients can implicitly trust? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and here's to building safer, smarter operations.